Imagine a disease that doesn't just kill, it steals your will to live. An epidemic where an entire village goes to sleep and never wakes up. This is the story of sleeping sickness, a terror that gripped early 20th century Africa and changed the course of history forever. The year is 1901. Deep in the forests of Central Africa, a strange, unseen force is spreading. People collapse in the fields, unable to stay awake. They slip into a trance-like state. And within weeks, they're gone. This was no ordinary disease. This was sleeping sickness, a silent killer that would haunt an entire continent. At the turn of the 20th century, Africa was a land of great beauty and unimaginable terror. Colonial powers had taken root, forests were being torn down, and strange illnesses emerged from the heart of the wilderness. But none was as feared as the parasite Trypanosoma brucei, carried by a tiny insect called the tsetse fly. Its bite didn't just sting, it infected the brain. What started as a low fever quickly turned into a nightmare. The parasite invaded the blood, crossed the brain barrier, and began to destroy its host from within. At first, victims felt fatigue, weakness, and confusion. But soon, their very personality would shift. Friendly, loving fathers would become irritable and aggressive. Calm mothers would scream out in terror. Teenagers would wander from their villages lost and disoriented, or would sink into a deep, inescapable slumber, and many would never awaken. By 1903, the disease was spreading like wildfire across Congo, Uganda, and the surrounding nations. Entire villages were wiped out. The sound of laughter gave way to silence. The sight of bustling markets was replaced by deserted streets and abandoned farms. The sleeping sickness became a ghostly specter, one that no one knew how to defeat. Take the story of Lima, a young boy from a village in Uganda. He was a lively, mischievous boy until one morning he refused to get out of bed. At first, his mother thought he was tired, but as the days passed, he grew weaker, more confused, unable to recognize the faces of those he loved. The boy who used to run with friends in the fields was now a prisoner of this disease, a prisoner of the sleeping death. As fear gripped the continent, scientists and doctors arrived. But this was a disease unlike any they had seen. Its weapon was stealth, its path was hidden, and its end was almost always death. Slowly, painstakingly, a coalition of researchers, missionaries, and local communities began to piece together the puzzle. The culprit? A parasite carried by the bite of a fly. The solution? Prevention, early detection, and eventually, a drug that could kill the parasite before it reached the brain. Today, thanks to tireless efforts, sleeping sickness has been largely controlled. But its story is a haunting reminder of how nature can shift the balance, how a tiny parasite can bring down nations, and how resilience can overcome despair. The sleeping sickness may be a chapter from the past, but it holds a lesson for all of us. In the war between mankind and disease, vigilance is our best weapon. Stay aware, stay informed, and remember, every pandemic has a story, and every story has the power to teach.